Hello, welcome to another Real Raw Moment, and today's is entitled Mementos. Do they help or do they harm? Now, this is quite a wide topic, but I have a story about today or from today that has led me to make this video. So, for those who have watched my videos in the past and my most recent ones, you'll know I suffered a loss, and that loss is that beauty right there. It's a week ago today that I lost her. If I wouldn't cry. Okay. I still miss her. A week has done a lot for me to process that loss. And that loss, in a conversation with a friend today, leads me to this topic of mementos. First of all, the memento I have there, and this was given to me made for me as a gift by a really dear friend in Ontario. Because she knows that my animals, and a side note, that one up there literally saved my life. When I went through alienation for the first time, I had an empty house, and I adopted a cat for the first time. That's Clooney, like George. And he passed away quite early on. I think he was put here to help me out. Oh, I'm not doing much justice to do they help or do they harm. Like, is my reaction right now helping or harming? For me, it helps. It helps to have these memories and mementos. It helps me to be able to reflect on the beauty that they brought into my life. Now we're talking about my cats, animals, not talking about alienated children. But I was out for lunch today on International Women's Day, so that date's today, but we were celebrating ourselves and having a wonderful lunch. And she's one of my best friends. And we'd been at lunch for an hour and a half. And just at the end, we're just getting ready to go. And she looks at my phone. And I'm just going to say my phone. I'm not going to show you my phone. I guess I could do that. Because you can't see the screensaver. Hang on. Okay. It's like a really awkward picture of Bobette. But it's memory, right? I remember taking this photo. And I have my phone cycling through my photos on my screensaver every 5 minutes, I think. And I've done it for a reason. I'm going to explain why I did that in the first place. It wasn't just for fun. It actually had a purpose. So, like all alienated persons, parents, grandparents, and others, we have photos, especially with the advent of our phones. We've got photos that aren't in photo albums that we need to go look. They're right here. And they can come up in really interesting ways. On Facebook on memories. They can pop up on a screensaver. They can, I don't know. There's lots of ways. Depends on Samsung, Android, iPhone. We're not going to get into that argument right now. Let's just say there's lots of ways that photos can pop up when we least expect them and we're least ready for them. And one of the coping mechanisms for alienated persons, and myself included for quite a long time, is to ensure that on here, on my computer, anywhere that has a photo carousel or opportunity, even my memories on Facebook, I ensure that my alienated child, would never come up. So I wouldn't be triggered. So I wouldn't feel the depth of emotion that I just showed you, talking about Clooney and Bobette. About 6 months ago, I came to a place where I realized, accepted, decided, all the words, none of the words, use your own words. This is, as always, my journey I'm sharing with you. It would serve me better in life to, I want to say, assimilate, to make the triggers go away. Let's say that. To make those photos less triggering and to go back to honoring what those photos meant, what they represented. And so I decided to allow my phone, in fact, I encouraged it by settings I did to have it rapidly, daily, go through 4 or 5 photos, not restrict my alienated son coming out. Let me tell you, it was very grim in the beginning. And I knew it would be. I knew that, like anything you get that is about alienation, that you get those emails, those texts, whatever they are. Oh, God. And who wants to actually inflict that on themselves when you're dealing with possibly lawyers and you're dealing with emails, you're dealing with texts from oppositional people? You're also hoping that that next buzz is going to be your alienated child saying, Mom, I miss you. Dad, I miss you. Where are you? There's a whole lot to it. At the same time, I did choose to build a resilience to the triggers. And so I set my phone to that carousel of photos, which has included photos of my son from birth to the last time I saw him, and that was, oh my God, in June. It'll be 3 years. That's really hard to believe because he's 18. He's graduating this year. It's kind of gross. And it's hard. What it's done for me, though, is this. It has taken the narrative out of my brain about what is going on right now. What it's allowed me to do is to look at, precursor to crying, to look at these photos, metabolize them, and hold them in my heart in a sacred space, where they were, when they happened, when I took them, or they were taken. And over time, I have been able to start to enjoy seeing them. Now, does it mean I'm jumping up and down? I mean, listen, I'm still holding my hand to my heart. Do you know what this means? Somatically, so in your body, it doesn't matter what I'm saying up here. Somatically, I'm still feeling that loss. That's okay. You can feel both. This isn't easy. While it may seem like this is causing me pain, it causes me more pain to not remember when I was part of his life and all the beautiful moments that we had that weren't by accident. See, one of the things about alienation, and there are people who watch my videos who are not alienated people, they watch them for interest. You get gaslit a lot, and I'll say I gaslight myself. I'm just going to talk about me. That's not because it's about my ego. I want to talk about me in the sense of this is my journey, my story, my real raw moment. And it may resonate with you. It may not. Parts of it may, or they may not. I have found now that once I was willing to face those photos, I was able to start to not gaslight myself. So not to take the word of the people against me to say, you are a horrible mother, you're this, you're that. I mean, I've got hundreds of pages of affidavits to tell me that. And it's pretty easy to start to believe the press and make it your own. I mean, frankly, at times I have not needed all those other people to tell me and gaslight me about the kind of mother I was or am. And so I cherish now each of these moments, these pictures. I just looked at my phone, just, that's what I'm looking at. To look and say, I remember that day. And I'm going to remember that day in the purest form that I can, without analyzing it, without putting it up against court, without putting it up against alienation, without judgment. I'm going to remember that day and be present with that memory in that moment. And I can tell you, it helps quite a lot. You'd be surprised. Maybe. I know it's helped a lot for me. And it's a journey. It's not a perfect science. It doesn't mean you just saw me cry and get emotional talking about all of this. It's not that it doesn't affect me, and it's not happy, happy, joy, joy, alienation time. I'm sharing a process that, even today when my girlfriend's like, I saw Babette coming up on your phone. I don't think you should do that. And I asked why. Because it's going to hurt you. Well, you know what? If she watches this, she'll understand this. The pain that's already been inflicted is far worse than cherishing the memories. Even if those memories, those moments, I say, I'm holding myself here, cause pain. Yeah, it's hard sometimes to look at these photos and remember. But memories don't have to be painful all the time. You were there for what you were there for. You celebrated, you did what you did. And nobody can take those memories away from you. Nobody can take those thoughts and those moments unless you allow external forces and the gaslighters and the court process and the negativity to take that. I encourage you to stay in control. No, I don't like that. No, I didn't like that. I encourage you. Dip your toe in the water of cherishing those photos. And it doesn't be photos on your phone. I have photos around my house of my son. They're not many, and they're not big and blasted, but they're there. They're touchstones for me emotionally, mentally, even physically. To remember who I fight for, to remember whom I love, to remember that wasn't always like this. And I think that's probably the most important memory of all. Comments below.